There we are. There we are. So you have to start. At least I'm the cool emoji, right? I mean, there are other things you could have chosen, right, in emoji land. But what mask are you going to wear this Halloween? What mask are you going to wear this lifetime? What mask are you wearing right now, and you don't even know it? Wow. Back to normal. Back to my. So I don't know if the newspaper. There's a little write-up in the faith section. I haven't changed my clothes since. But you might have seen these around. Yeah. Well, and if you haven't gotten one, go to the bookstore. They're $2, and put one on your car and watch as people pass you. And the wonderful looks. You either get a wave or a wave. It's great stocking stuffer, yes, and we're very blessed. It's a wonderful article that they did, and did you notice our dog Cooper in the bottom here, the bottom corner? I mean, my neighbors recognize the dog. They said, oh, Steve and Cooper. Oh, yeah. Of course, he's identifiable, but me, I'm just a neighbor. But, hey, at least they read the article, right? Okay, so. Well, we are getting into late October. It's late October. So, my title today is one of my favorite talks, Trick or Treatment. Are you going to be fooled by the appearance, or are you going to pray your way through what is walking through you, or what you're walking through, as it were? So don't be fooled by the appearance. Pray through it. On Halloween, we dress up in our costumes to be someone or something else. We must look beyond the mask we wear to the reality that all is God. No matter what you may see, it's just the appearance. It's all God. It's all good. So, trick or treatment? What do you choose? Are you going to buy into the appearance and be fooled? And I've done that for many years in my life. I chose to be fooled by what I thought was happening. But I started to look deeper and to go beyond the appearance. That's what metaphysics is. It's beyond the physical. Meta, beyond. Physics, beyond the physical. What is beyond the physical? So don't be fooled, but do treatment instead. So I want to give you a little history of Halloween. Now, you can go online and find several things, and that's what I did, and I compiled some things that I thought you'd love to hear about. I call this the haunted history of Halloween. Most holidays commemorate or celebrate something, but what about Halloween? What is Halloween actually a celebration of? And how did this particular custom originate? Is it, as some claim, a kind of demon worship? Or is it just a harmless vestige of some ancient pagan ritual where folks get together for parties, dress up in Halloween costumes, and bob for apples? The word itself, Halloween, actually has its origins in the Catholic Church. It comes from the contracted corruption of All Hallows Eve, November 1st, All Hallows Day, or All Saints' Day, is a Catholic day of observance in honor of saints. But in the 5th century BC, in Celtic Ireland, summer officially ended on October 31st. The holiday was called Samhain, or Samhain. the Celtic New Year. One story says that on that day, disembodied spirits of those who had died throughout the preceding year would come back in search of living bodies to possess for the next year. It was believed to be their only hope for the afterlife. The Celts believed all laws of space and time were suspended during this time, allowing the spirit of the world to intermingle with the living. Naturally, the still living did not want to be possessed. So on that night, October 31st, villagers would extinguish their fires in their homes to make them cold and undesirable. They would then dress up in all manner of ghoulish costumes and noisily parade about the neighborhood, being as destructive as possible in order to frighten away spirits looking for bodies to possess. We start to see it's a lot of work, but we start to see how this may have morphed into this thing that we call Halloween. Probably a better explanation of why the Celts extinguished their fires was not to discourage spirits or possession, but so that the Celtic tribes could relight their fire from the common source. The Druid fire that was kept was burning in the middle of Ireland. So they kept this fire that was from one source. Do you see the symbology of that? That's very powerful. Some accounts tell of how Celts would burn someone at the stake who was thought to have already been possessed as sort of a lesson to the spirits. Other accounts of Celtic history debunk those stories as myth, so that's not really what happened. The Romans adopted the Celtic practice of their own, but in their 1st century A.D., the Samhain ceremony was assimilated into celebrations of some of the other Roman traditions that took place in October. So they kind of just, mashed some holidays together, such as their day to honor Pomona, the Roman goddess of fruit and trees. The symbol of Pomona is the apple, which might explain the origin of the modern tradition of bobbing for apples on Halloween. Interesting. The custom of Halloween was brought to America in the 1840s by Irish immigrants fleeing from their country's potato famine. At that time, the favorite pranks in New England included tipping over outhouses and unhinging fence gates. The custom of trick-or-treating is thought to have originated not with the Irish Celts, but with the 9th century European custom called souling. On November 2nd, All Souls Day, early Christians would walk from village to village begging for soul cakes made out of square pieces of bread. And the more soul cakes the beggars would receive, the more prayers they would promise to say on behalf of the dead relatives of the donor. At that time, it was believed that the dead remained in limbo for a time after death, and that prayer, even by strangers, could expedite the soul's passage to heaven. So that's where the, going door to door started to, hey, give me some soul cakes, I'll pray for you, I'll get some food, you'll get some prayer, The jack-o'-lantern custom probably comes from Irish folklore, as the tale is told. A man named Jack, who was notorious as a drunkard and a trickster, tricked Satan into climbing a tree. Jack then carved an image of the cross in the tree, trapping the devil up the tree. Jack made a deal with the devil that if he would never tempt him again, he would promise to let him down the tree. According to the folk tale, after Jack died, he was denied entrance into heaven because of his evil ways, but he was also denied into hell because he had tricked the devil. Instead, the devil gave him a single ember of light to light his way through the frigid darkness. The ember was placed inside a hallowed turnip to keep it glowing longer. The Irish used turnips as their jack-o'-lanterns originally. Kind of small. But when the immigrants came to America, they found that pumpkins were far more plentiful than turnips, so the jack-o'-lantern in America was hollowed out and lit with the ember. So see how the jack-o'-lantern came into play. So although some cults may have adopted Halloween as their favorite holiday, the day itself did not grow out of evil practices. It grew out of the rituals of the Celts, celebrating their New Year, and out of the medieval prayer rituals of the Europeans. And today, even many churches have Halloween parties and pumpkin carving events for the kids. After all, the day itself is only as evil as one cares to make it.
Amen.
That's my little haunted history of Halloween for you. You can go ahead, and many of these parts are found online. I'm not going to recite all the places I went, but you can go and look for yourself and make one up for yourself that makes sense. The spiritual truth behind Halloween is that all religions have ways of honoring their ancestors. Yes, that is what Halloween is truly all about. It is a time to honor and pay attention to the lessons that your ancestors have given you. Eve of the Hallows. So we're to remember Grandma and Grandpa and what legacy they left on this planet for us. Remember their struggles, their challenges, and maybe we can learn some of the lessons and not have to repeat them. Remember their love, their warmth, and their light, and their words. Halloween is a time for meditating on what gifts your loved ones may have left you. We may never live in a society that forgets those that have gone before us. May we always remember the wonderful energy that was left behind from some former radiance. Halloween is a celebration of legacy. We celebrate what our ancestors have given us. We remember those that may have gone before us. So the metaphysical interpretation of Halloween is that we get to be something else. You know, and that was when I was growing up, Halloween was a big thing for me because my birthday always was just before Halloween. And so my mom would say, well, do you want to have a birthday party or a Halloween party? Oh, Halloween party, of course, Halloween. You know, because we always did a little something on my birthday anyway. I want to have 2 parties in the month. You know, I mean, let's spread this thing out, right? I was in a seminar, and it was called LifeSpring, and it's known as many different terms in different places. It's this thing where you go pay a bunch of money, and people process you, and it was challenging. But there was something wonderful that happened within that, and that we were grouped together by the facilitator, and we were assigned to go out into the world. We had like 3 hours to go become something. And my group was to go out into the world and become the band Kiss. Now, if you don't know who Kiss is the guys that put the big makeup and the hair and the shoulder pads and the big platform shoes, and they, play their guitar, gonna rock all night, party every day. You know that song? Rock all night and party every day. And so my little group was that group. And so we went out in the world and got equipment and shoulder pads and face paint. And there were other groups that were interesting, that had different little things they were assigned to do. So we all met back. We were all in costume. We're all lined up to go in to do a performance, because each group got to do their little performance for 10 minutes. And I was standing there in line with all these interesting people in costume. And I, got to be the bass player, of course, because I'm the bass player. I was Gene Simmons with the hair. I mean, you wouldn't even know it was me with the, we did it up right. And something came over me. And I realized while I was standing there with all this stuff going on, what the purpose of this experiential was. It was to see how silly you were trying to fake being something in the world that really, it's fun to fake, but it's not really who you are. And all of a sudden, depression came over me like, oh, God, I do not want to do this. Like, I get it, right? But I had to go out and do my performance. But a big aha moment came over me, which was, in this life, we choose what we want to grow up and be, don't we? It's a big deal to pick something. When I grow up, I'm going to be a fill in the blank. And then sometimes when you become that, it doesn't hold all that specialness you thought it would. And you get to choose again. Because there's no law that says you can't re-choose. You can't grow up all over again. So in this world of form that we live in, there's really only one of us here. God. Source energy, expressing as the countless billions of appearances, masks that we all wear. We're all, the infinite got really creative and said, let's make them all different, just to freak them out. just so they get it. Let's make them all different, but the same. You are unique, a custom-made individual. There is no one like you. There is no one that can occupy the space that you are occupying right now. But that power is the same within all of us. It is no different. That's that's the message. Here we're all sent out into the world to find ourselves, and I'm going to make them all different so it really trips them up. And it all comes back to us that there is only one of us here, expressing as the countless life forms that this plane of existence has to offer. Isn't that interesting? Isn't it kind of cool? It kind of, for me, it solved the mystery a little bit, but it created more mysteries. Like, who do I think I am? As I say, my mother used to tell me that all the time. Who do you think you are? Well, I don't know. I don't know today. And that's okay. Because every day we get to remember who we choose to be. And you get to make it up. Remember after Halloween, I would start the next day in deciding what I was going to be the next year. You ever read Clifford the Big Red Dog books? Oh, I love those. I always check those out first thing, because even if it wasn't Halloween, because I love that big dog and what he dressed up as. And then that was his thing, is at the end of all of his experience, he looked forward to what he got to be next year. And he started planning his costume. So this is the costume you chose this time. And it's changeable. But what are you going to be next time? What are you going to be next year? And how can you make this experience the very best that it was planned to be for you? It gives you some pause, doesn't it? Makes you want to respond with love, doesn't it? Well, in conclusion, Halloween allows us to celebrate life. It's about the living, not the passing into the next plane of existence. That's part of it. You know, we all did not know how to be born, but we all did it, right? Somehow you got yourself here, or your parents got you here, and you took it over from there. And at some point, we get to go on to whatever's next. Isn't that powerful? None of us know how to do that either. But it's part of the experience. Let's make it grand. Let's make it beautiful. Is there a way to do that? Is there a way? I'm just checking in. So, count your blessings this Halloween. For the road behind you is rich with tradition, wisdom, and experience. And so is the road before you. Don't be fooled by the appearance. Pray through it. And by all means, remember who you are. God. And so it is. So it's time to follow our teaching and go within. So I invite you to close your eyes if that is comfortable for you, or take a soft focus on the wonderful flowers, the candles, or whatever takes you deeper into that space of love. As we bring to the forefront of our consciousness what we believe is the power of creation. Call it Christ consciousness, call it goddess energy, or God, or source, or great spirit. Whatever you choose to call it is your business. But I think we can agree that there is something animating this world of form. It has taken on the appearance that is you. But it is still that source energy expressing as only you can. And you get to choose what it looks like. And you get to choose what is yours to do in this world of form. For when you grow up, you will be all you were set out to be, no matter what that is. So whatever you're walking through right now, know that the power of creation, of perfect animation, of pure love is energizing our every thought, every move, every action. And as we invite that harmony in, something beautifully wonderful happens. All of a sudden, healing is happening. The revealing of truth and divine wisdom begin to seep into everything that we are. For truly love is the glue that holds everything together. And as we lean into that love, it begins to become us in such a beautiful way that the healing is happening. The beauty of the revealing of truth is happening. That as we move our attention from the challenge to the solution, and we see whatever is happening as part of the beauty of life itself expressing. I know that it may hurt at times, but it's okay. Because the love that you are is so powerful that it will heal you. It will reveal what is yours to be known, and something wonderfully miraculous always happens. So as we invite ourselves to live in the miraculous energy of love, love is the message of our lives. Giving great thanks for that love, for the beautiful experiences that we have had and that we will continue to have. We just say thank you. We are grateful for everything, no matter what the appearance. We give great thanks with our hearts open wide that allows the healing to begin. As we release this word directly into the living, loving law of mind, we claim divine right action. We let it be so as we affirm it together by saying, so it is. Amen. Okay. Hello.